Imagine starting every single day with an act of self-sabotage, unknowingly chipping away at your vitality, energy, and cognitive sharpness. For millions over the age of 60, this isn't a hypothetical scenario. It's a silent, daily reality played out on the breakfast table. Often heralded as the most crucial meal of the day, breakfast can, ironically, transform into one of the most hazardous for seniors, quietly undermining their health without immediate, glaring symptoms. We are often told that breakfast is the foundation for a productive day, a nutritional kickstart that fuels our bodies and minds. And while this remains true, the quality of that fuel becomes exponentially more critical as we navigate the landscape of later life. Our metabolism shifts, organ functions subtly change, and our bodies become far more sensitive to certain types of ingredients that might have been inconsequential in our younger years. Yet, a pervasive myth persists that many popular, convenient, or traditionally healthy breakfast options are still suitable for an aging system. This dangerous misconception often leads to a gradual, insidious decline in well-being, leaving individuals feeling inexplicably fatigued, mentally foggy, or grappling with escalating health issues despite their best intentions. In this comprehensive exploration, we will unearth 6 prevalent breakfast items that countless older adults consume daily, oblivious to their profound, often detrimental effects on an aging body. We will dissect not only what to avoid, but why these specific foods pose unique risks after 6 decades of life, impacting everything from cardiac health and brain function to digestive efficiency and long-term well-being. Our journey will reveal how these seemingly innocent choices can subtly drain energy, exacerbate inflammation, disrupt blood sugar, strain vital organs, and elevate the risk of chronic diseases. More importantly, we'll illuminate a path towards empowering, delicious alternatives that nourish, protect, and revitalize, ensuring your mornings become a true foundation for a vibrant, independent future. Prepare to rethink everything you thought you knew about the most important meal of the day. 1. The sweet deception, sugary cereals and breakfast granola. One of the most deeply ingrained breakfast habits among older adults involves the seemingly innocuous act of pouring a quick bowl of cereal, often those proudly labeled whole-grained, lightly sweetened, or even heart-healthy. The marketing is powerful, conjuring images of wholesome mornings and a nutritious start. However, beneath this veneer of health, many of these popular cereals and granolas are clandestine saboteurs loaded with added sugars and highly processed carbohydrates that quietly wreak havoc on an aging body. The problem isn't merely the explicit sugar content listed on the nutrition label, it's also the pervasive presence of processed carbohydrates that the body rapidly breaks down into glucose within minutes of consumption. When you commence your morning with a high glycemic cereal, your blood sugar levels spike precipitously, akin to a roller coaster shooting upwards. While this initial surge might offer a fleeting sensation of energy or alertness, it is almost invariably followed by a sharp, uncomfortable crash. This physiological plummet leaves you feeling tired, shaky, irritable, or even intensely craving more carbohydrates by mid-morning, trapping you in a vicious cycle of energy peaks and valleys. For an older adult whose metabolism has naturally decelerated and whose insulin sensitivity may have decreased, this continuous blood sugar fluctuation places immense stress on the pancreas, forcing it to work overtime to regulate glucose levels. Over time, this chronic strain can accelerate insulin resistance, significantly increasing the risk of prediabetes or even pushing individuals firmly into the embrace of type 2 diabetes. Consider Harold, a sprightly 71-year-old who, for years, diligently began his day with a large bowl of Raisin Bran. He genuinely believed it was a healthy choice, diligently following the whole grain endorsement. Yet despite his medications and regular walking routine, his A1C levels, a key indicator of average blood sugar over time, kept creeping upwards, much to his doctor's concern. His physician, a keen observer of lifestyle factors, suggested a simple yet profound experiment. Remove processed cereals from his diet for just 1 month. Harold swapped his Raisin Bran for a bowl of slow-cooked steel-cut oats, enriched with a sprinkle of cinnamon and a handful of walnuts. The transformation was remarkable. Not only did his blood sugar readings stabilize, but Harold reported feeling a sustained sense of alertness and steady energy throughout the entire day. His experience wasn't about eating less. It was a potent lesson in eating smarter, understanding that seemingly benign choices could have profound systemic impacts. Beyond the sugar and processed carbs, many cereals and granolas harbor another hidden danger, a cocktail of added preservatives, artificial flavors, and sometimes even hydrogenated oils utilized to enhance crunch, extend shelf life, or improve texture. These chemical additives are notorious for their pro-inflammatory effects within the body. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is a silent epidemic among older adults, often quietly fueling conditions like arthritis, hypertension, cognitive decline, and a host of age-related diseases. Even granolas that appear natural or artisanal can be misleading. Many are baked with copious amounts of syrups, agave, or honey blends that, while sounding wholesome, deliver a concentrated dose of sugar, often exceeding that found in a traditional donut. A small handful might be acceptable, but the common practice of pouring a generous bowl, topping it with sweetened yogurt, or adding extra fruit can lead to an unwitting intake of 40 grams or more of sugar before the day has even properly begun. What amplifies the seriousness of this issue for older adults is the physiological reality of aging. After 60, our bodies become less efficient at handling sugar. Digestion slows, and the pancreas's ability to produce and utilize insulin effectively may diminish. This is why a breakfast choice that seemed perfectly fine in your 40s or 50s can suddenly feel like a heavy weight, dragging down your energy and clarity in your 70s. The solution isn't to abandon breakfast altogether. It's to fundamentally shift the contents of your bowl. Opt for unsweetened whole oats, plain Greek yogurt with fresh berries, or nutrient-dense savory options like boiled eggs paired with avocado or whole grain toast. These alternatives provide sustained energy, promote satiety, and stabilize blood sugar, ensuring your morning routine shapes not just your next few hours, but your long-term health, energy, and independence. If you've been grappling with unexplained fatigue despite adequate sleep or experiencing energy crashes after breakfast, your cereal box might be the first place to investigate for a silent health saboteur. That was the first critical insight into reshaping your morning routine. If you found this information about the deceptive nature of sugary cereals and granolas useful and are considering applying it to your own life, please take a moment to comment with the number 1 below to let us know. Your engagement helps us understand which topics resonate most deeply with our community. 2. The hidden burden, processed breakfast meats. Bacon, sausage, and ham are deeply woven into the fabric of American breakfast culture. The tantalizing aroma of sizzling bacon or the savory promise of a sausage patty often evoke comfort and tradition, making them staples on countless breakfast plates for generations. However, for individuals navigating their 60s, 70s, and beyond, starting the day with processed meats can quietly levy a significant toll on the heart, blood vessels, and overall longevity, in ways that frequently go unnoticed until the cumulative damage becomes severe. These meats are notoriously packed with saturated fat and sodium, two nutritional components that, in excess, exert considerable stress on the cardiovascular system, a system already under natural age-related pressures. Saturated fats are well-documented culprits in raising low-density lipoprotein, LDL, cholesterol, often referred to as bad cholesterol. Elevated LDL cholesterol contributes to the formation of plaque in the arteries, a process known as atherosclerosis, which stiffens blood vessels, narrows their passages, and dramatically increases the risk of heart attack or stroke. Simultaneously, the sodium content in just a couple of strips of bacon or a single sausage patty can be sufficient to trigger a significant spike in blood pressure for the entire morning. For older adults, whose blood vessels may already be less elastic and kidneys less efficient at filtering excess salt, this daily surge in blood pressure significantly elevates the risk of hypertension-related complications. Beyond the fat and sodium, a more insidious threat lurks within these processed meats: the preservatives used in their curing process, specifically nitrates and nitrites. These compounds are employed to preserve color, prevent bacterial growth, and extend shelf life. However, once ingested and subjected to the digestive environment, particularly in the presence of high heat, like frying bacon, these nitrates and nitrites can undergo a chemical transformation, forming highly carcinogenic substances known as nitrosamines. Nitrosamines have been robustly linked to chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and an increased risk of various cancers, including colorectal, stomach, and pancreatic cancers. For an older adult who may already possess a more sensitive digestive tract, potentially weaker kidneys, or a family history predisposing them to heart disease or certain cancers. This consistent chemical exposure from daily processed meat consumption becomes an especially perilous habit. Consider the case of Eileen, a vibrant 74-year-old who cherished her morning routine of a sausage and egg sandwich. She believed it provided the essential protein needed to kickstart her day. Yet over time, she began noticing persistent swelling in her ankles, a common symptom of fluid retention, and her doctor informed her that her blood pressure had insidiously crept into the danger zone. Upon her doctor's recommendation, Eileen made a crucial dietary shift. She drastically reduced her sodium intake and began replacing the sausage in her sandwich with slices of avocado and hard-boiled eggs. Within weeks, the ankle swelling noticeably eased, and her blood pressure readings began to trend downwards, away from the danger zone. Eileen's experience vividly illustrates that the issue isn't just about fat or protein, it's about how the aging body processes these foods differently. After 60, the kidneys naturally become less efficient at filtering out excess salt. Blood vessels become more susceptible to cholesterol buildup, and the metabolic rate decelerates, meaning that dense, greasy foods linger longer in the digestive system. This extended digestive burden often translates into a feeling of heaviness, fatigue, and sometimes even a bothersome brain fog by midday. For many, these processed meats are not occasional treats, but ingrained daily habits. A few strips of bacon here, a breakfast sandwich there, sausage accompanying pancakes at the diner. The cumulative effect of these seemingly small choices can silently undermine one's health. The problem isn't having them once in a blue moon. It's the normalcy of a routine that, unbeknownst to the individual, forces the body to constantly struggle to recover from the daily nutritional load. A far more supportive approach involves incorporating lean protein swaps, options like grilled turkey slices, plant-based breakfast patties, check labels for sodium and additives, or eggs paired with fiber-rich vegetables like spinach or mushrooms offer sustained energy without the inflammatory burden. Even something as simple as a slice of whole grain toast adorned with natural almond butter provides more lasting fuel and beneficial nutrients than processed meat ever could. For older adults, breakfast transcends mere sustenance. It becomes a form of daily medicine. It either actively aids your body in recovery and strength maintenance, or it forces your system to work harder than it needs to, draining precious energy reserves. By making small, intentional changes, even one food at a time, you begin to provide your body with the profound support it has quietly been asking for all along. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment with the number 2 below to let me know you're here and engaged. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Now let's move forward to our next vital revelation. 3. The empty calories, white bread, and refined pastries. The tempting aroma of freshly toasted white bread, the fluffy allure of pancakes or bagels, and the irresistible charm of a coffee shop muffin might all seem like quintessential and harmless breakfast choices. Often paired with coffee and a dollop of jam, they evoke a sense of comfort and tradition. However, if you are navigating your 60s, 70s, or 80s, these refined carbohydrates are quietly working against your energy levels, your digestive health, and your long-term blood sugar stability. Their widespread consumption is a testament to clever marketing and convenience, but their nutritional void can cast a long shadow over senior health. What renders white bread and pastries so problematic isn't simply the flour itself, but the aggressive processing it undergoes. These foods are crafted from highly refined white flour, a substance that has been systematically stripped of its most valuable components: the fiber-rich bran, the nutrient-dense germ, and crucial B vitamins and minerals. The unfortunate consequence of this industrial refining process is a product that the body digests with alarming speed. When consumed, these refined carbohydrates convert into glucose almost immediately upon entering the bloodstream. This rapid sugar surge triggers an equally rapid release of insulin, a hormone often overproduced by the pancreas in an attempt to quickly bring down glucose levels. This insulin overshoot frequently leads to a sugar crash, leaving you feeling tired, irritable, or hungry again soon after breakfast. This metabolic roller coaster isn't just physically uncomfortable, it's physiologically dangerous. Over extended periods, repeated blood sugar spikes and subsequent crashes can severely impair the body's ability to regulate insulin effectively, leading to increased insulin resistance. For older adults, this translates into a heightened risk of developing prediabetes, worsening glucose control for those already managing type 2 diabetes, or even a de novo diagnosis, all from what might have seemed like a perfectly innocent light breakfast. Consider Carl, a diligent 68-year-old who loved beginning his mornings with a toasted English muffin liberally spread with jelly. This had been his steadfast habit for decades. Yet, despite carefully monitoring his calorie intake and maintaining a daily walking regimen, his weight stubbornly refused to budge, and his afternoon energy crashes were becoming increasingly debilitating. Upon a friend's suggestion, Carl made a crucial dietary tweak. He swapped his morning muffin for a slice of sprouted grain toast, topped with a modest smear of natural almond butter and half a banana. The results were transformative. Carl reported feeling steady from breakfast until lunch for the first time in years, experiencing consistent energy without the dreaded afternoon slump. His story underscores the profound impact of choosing nutrient-dense, fiber-rich alternatives over refined, empty calories. Another insidious issue with many commercially produced pastries is the stealthy presence of trans fats. Even if a label proudly proclaims zero GM trans fats, regulations often permit small amounts, up to zero point 0.5 grams per serving, to be rounded down to zero, effectively concealing their presence. These chemically altered fats are particularly insidious because they linger in the bloodstream, raising unhealthy LDL cholesterol while simultaneously lowering beneficial HDL cholesterol. Furthermore, trans fats significantly contribute to systemic inflammation, a concern especially pertinent for older arteries and joints that may already be experiencing age-related sensitivities. While individuals might rationalize, I just have a little, the cumulative impact of a biscuit at breakfast, a Danish from the senior center, or a few bites of leftover toast can build up over time. These seemingly insignificant daily choices can subtly influence your overall feeling of well-being, the stability of your energy, and the day-to-day functionality of your brain and heart. The pathway to better breakfast choices isn't about rigid denial, it's about intelligent fueling. Prioritize whole grain or sprouted grain breads that genuinely contain fiber and nutrients. Pair them with sources of healthy fats and protein, such as natural peanut butter, cottage cheese, or a perfectly poached egg. Alternatively, embrace savory options like tomato slices, creamy avocado, or a spread of hummus. These choices digest more slowly, releasing glucose gradually into your bloodstream, which keeps your blood sugar levels even and helps you feel clear-headed rather than cloudy. Breakfast isn't merely about satiating hunger, it's about establishing the metabolic tone for the entire day. When you provide your body with what it genuinely needs, it reciprocates with sustained energy, enhanced mental clarity, and remarkable resilience throughout the day. If you're finding this discussion impactful, consider the ripple effect these changes could have on your own life. What do you think about the importance of reducing refined carbohydrates in your diet, especially as you age? Share your opinion by commenting with the keyword refined carbs below. Your insights enrich our community, and we value your participation. 4. The yogurt trap. Flavored yogurts with hidden sugars. Yogurt has long enjoyed a coveted health halo, particularly the flavored varieties that claim to promote digestion, boost protein intake, or offer a light, refreshing start to the day. Its creamy texture and perceived probiotic benefits make it a seemingly ideal breakfast choice for seniors striving to eat smarter. However, for a significant portion of these products, the reality is far from harmless. In fact, consistently commencing your morning with sweetened yogurt can silently undermine your energy levels, disrupt your delicate gut health, and sabotage your efforts to effectively manage weight or blood sugar. The deception lies in plain sight, often overlooked due to effective marketing and ingrained beliefs about yogurt's inherent goodness. What many consumers fail to realize is the sheer volume of sugar lurking within even small containers of flavored yogurt. Some single servings contain upwards of 20 grams of sugar, an amount equivalent to or even exceeding that found in a typical slice of cake. And this figure doesn't even account for any additional fruit or granola that might be added on top. This immediate sugar spike doesn't just flood your bloodstream, it forces your body, particularly your overworked pancreas, to labor intensely to bring glucose levels back down. This intensive effort can leave you feeling paradoxically tired or hungry just an hour or two later, prompting further snacking and perpetuating a cycle of energy dips. Furthermore, the sugar isn't always simple table sugar. Many flavored yogurts incorporate a myriad of sweeteners, including high fructose corn syrup, fruit syrups, concentrated fruit juices, or even artificial sweeteners. These diverse sugar forms, or their synthetic counterparts, can profoundly confuse the gut microbiome, the complex ecosystem of bacteria residing in our digestive tracts. For older adults, whose digestive systems are often more sensitive and less resilient than they once were, the balance of this gut bacteria plays a colossal role in overall health, influencing everything from mood and cognitive function to immune response and nutrient absorption. When this intricate balance is thrown into disarray by an excess of sugar and artificial additives, the negative effects ripple outward throughout the entire body, potentially manifesting as chronic inflammation, compromised immunity, digestive discomfort like bloating, and even contributing to mood disorders. Consider Joyce, a spirited 72-year-old who faithfully consumed strawberry yogurt with granola every morning for 5 years, firmly convinced it was a cornerstone of her healthy lifestyle. Yet she found herself constantly battling uncomfortable bloating, and her knees, already afflicted by arthritis, always felt particularly inflamed. Her doctor, suspecting a dietary link, suggested a simple but impactful change: switch to plain Greek yogurt, and then add her own flavor with a sprinkle of cinnamon and fresh blueberries. Within a mere few weeks, Joyce's persistent bloating dramatically eased, and she described her mornings as feeling noticeably lighter, calmer, and more stable. Her experience vividly illustrates the power of removing hidden sugars and unnecessary additives from seemingly healthy foods. Another often overlooked issue with many store-bought yogurts is the inclusion of thickeners and stabilizers, such as carrageenan or modified cornstarch. While these ingredients are added to achieve that desirable creamy texture and prevent separation, they offer no nutritional value and, in some individuals, can actively irritate the gut lining. This irritation can hinder the absorption of vital nutrients, a critical concern for seniors who may already be at risk of nutritional deficiencies due to age-related changes in digestion and appetite. Furthermore, even when yogurt is aggressively marketed as low-fat or light, it frequently signifies that sugar has been significantly increased to compensate for the flavor lost when fat is removed. This deceptive trade-off might appear appealing on a calorie count, but internally, within your body, it creates a metabolic stress that reverberates far beyond the breakfast table. If you cherish yogurt, there's no need to eliminate it from your diet. The key lies in regaining control over its contents. Opt for plain Greek or unsweetened regular yogurt. Then, personalize it with your own fresh or frozen fruit, a handful of nuts, a sprinkle of seeds, or perhaps a modest drizzle of honey if a touch of sweetness is truly desired. This mindful approach allows you to harness the true benefits of yogurt, its probiotics, high-quality protein, and essential nutrients without the damaging sugar spike or chemical overload. Because the right kind of breakfast doesn't just fill your stomach, it meticulously builds your foundational health. When you choose to nourish your gut and brain in the morning rather than stressing them, you experience a profound difference, not only in your sustained energy levels, but also in your mental clarity, mood, and overall sense of peace of mind. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment with the number 4 below to let me know you're here and engaged. Your support genuinely helps us continue creating content that aims to inform and inspire. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you never miss our new videos. Let's continue this journey of discovery. Number 5. The sweet illusion. Fruit juices that spike blood sugar. For decades, fruit juice, particularly orange juice, has been positioned as an emblem of a healthy breakfast. Its vibrant color, refreshing taste, and generous vitamin C content make it a seemingly perfect start to the day. The traditional image of a glass of freshly squeezed orange juice alongside breakfast cereals is ingrained in popular culture. However, for older adults, that seemingly innocent glass of juice can, astonishingly, behave more like a soda than a fruit, setting off a cascade of physiological effects that strain the body rather than supporting it. The most significant issue with fruit juice is the systematic stripping away of fiber during the juicing process. When you consume a whole orange, for instance, The natural fiber present in the pulp and membranes acts as a crucial physiological speed bump. It slows down the rate at which the fruit's natural sugars are absorbed into your bloodstream, providing a more gradual and controlled release of energy. But when you drink orange juice, even the 100% pure, no sugar added kind, you receive all the concentrated sugar content with virtually none of the beneficial fiber. This direct infusion of sugar leads to a sharp, rapid spike in blood glucose, a metabolic challenge that becomes especially risky after 60, as insulin sensitivity often begins to decline naturally with age. The pancreas is forced into overdrive, releasing a burst of insulin to manage this sudden sugar influx, a process that can be taxing over time and contribute to insulin resistance. There's also the critical problem of volume. You would likely never sit down and comfortably consume 4 oranges in one sitting. Yet, that is approximately the number of oranges required to produce a single cup of orange juice. This translates to a significantly higher intake of sugar and calories in a liquid form, which, due to the absence of fiber, does not trigger the same satiety signals as solid food. Your brain doesn't register liquid calories in the same way, leading to potential overconsumption and a feeling of hunger returning sooner. For an individual already managing borderline blood sugar levels, prediabetes, or diagnosed diabetes, this daily habit, despite being well-intentioned, can quietly and persistently push their glucose readings in the wrong direction, making management significantly more challenging. I once consulted with Walter, a 75-year-old gentleman who meticulously began each day with a large glass of apple juice. He genuinely believed it was a superior alternative to coffee, aligning with his perception of a healthy lifestyle. However, he started experiencing frequent spells of lightheadedness in the mornings, and his A1C levels, like Harold's, began a worrying ascent. His nutritionist, astute in identifying hidden dietary culprits, advised him to eliminate juice for a month and replace it with whole fruit and plain water. Within just 3 weeks, Walter's energy levels became remarkably more stable and consistent, and his doctor noted noticeable improvements in his glucose readings. This simple swap profoundly impacted his daily well-being and metabolic health. While orange juice often garners the most attention, other seemingly benign fruit juices, such as cranberry, apples, and grape juices, are frequently worse offenders. They often contain even higher sugar concentrations than orange juice, and many commercial brands add further sweeteners on top of what's already naturally present. Moreover, some light or reduced sugar juices sneak in artificial additives that do not support gut health or efficient digestion, particularly for those with sensitive stomachs or slower bowel motility. The crucial understanding here is that fruit itself is not the enemy. It is the processing. When you blend, strain, or concentrate fruit into a liquid, you fundamentally alter how the body perceives and responds to its sugars. You remove the natural checks and balances, primarily fiber, that protect your energy levels, regulate your insulin response, and even govern your hunger cues. For seniors striving to maintain mental sharpness, consistent energy, and optimal hydration, these distinctions in consumption matter immensely. The better, more supportive option is remarkably simple. Prioritize water, herbal teas, or infused water with natural flavorings like lemon slices, cucumber, or berries. If you enjoy the taste of fruit, consume it whole. A small apple, a handful of berries, or a few orange slices will provide the natural sweetness you crave, coupled with the essential fiber that keeps you satisfied for longer and protects your blood sugar from dramatic spikes. The goal isn't to eradicate sweetness from your life, it's to enjoy it in ways that actively support your body, rather than surprising it with a sudden sugar overload. Commencing your day with stable energy is one of the most profound gifts you can bestow upon yourself, especially as you gracefully age with strength, vitality, and true independence, rather than struggle. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment with the number 5 below to let me know you're here and engaged. Your feedback is incredibly important to us. If you haven't already, please consider liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and hitting that notification bell so you're always informed about our latest content. Your support truly empowers us to keep creating. Let's move on to our final, crucial point. Number 6, the heavy start. Butter-heavy or fried breakfast items. For many individuals in their 60s, 70s, or even 80s, breakfast simply doesn't feel complete without something warm, crispy, or deeply comforting. This often translates into buttered toast, fried eggs, or a generous side of hash browns cooked in a skillet. While these meals can undoubtedly provide immediate satisfaction and evoke a sense of nostalgic comfort, the manner in which they are prepared, especially when heavily laden with butter, oil, or frying fats, can quietly and profoundly weigh down your body in ways that linger long past breakfast, impacting your entire day. As we age, the intricate processes of digestion naturally begin to slow down. The stomach may produce less hydrochloric acid, essential for breaking down food. The gallbladder, responsible for releasing bile to emulsify fats, might become less efficient. And the overall metabolic rate decelerates, meaning that the body doesn't process fats with the same speed or efficiency as it once did. Consequently, a meal rich in saturated fats, such as buttery biscuits, deep-fried potatoes, or eggs swimming in oil, takes considerably longer to digest. This extended digestive burden places increased strain on the liver and gallbladder, often leading to a sensation of sluggishness, heaviness, and even a lingering feeling of mild nausea that can persist for hours, diminishing your energy and mental clarity throughout the morning. Consider Leonard, a spry 76-year-old who cherished his classic Southern breakfast: eggs fried robustly in butter, white toast, and a side of crispy hash browns. This had been his consistent morning ritual for decades. However, he started noticing a disconcerting pattern. After breakfast, he would invariably feel foggy, tired, and subtly nauseated. His doctor, after a thorough review, suggested a simple but impactful modification. Keep the eggs, but change their preparation method. Instead of frying in butter, Leonard began using a non-stick pan with minimal healthy oil, like a spray of avocado oil, and paired his eggs with fresh greens and whole grain toast. Within a few weeks, Leonard reported that his mornings felt dramatically lighter and, remarkably, he no longer needed to take a mid-morning nap, a habit he had unconsciously adopted to combat his post-breakfast slump. This transformation highlights the power of mindful food preparation in supporting an aging body. The issue with frying extends beyond mere fat content. It involves the chemical changes that occur when oils are subjected to high temperatures. When cooking oils, especially reused or unstable varieties, are heated to extreme temperatures, they can break down into compounds such as aldehydes and advanced glycation end products, AGEs. These compounds are highly inflammatory and contribute to oxidative stress within the body. For older adults already contending with chronic inflammation, arthritis, persistent joint pain, or underlying cardiovascular concerns, this daily infusion of inflammatory compounds from fried foods can literally add fuel to the fire, exacerbating existing conditions and accelerating cellular aging. Furthermore, while butter isn't inherently evil and can be enjoyed in moderation, its overuse in breakfast preparations is a common pitfall. One pat on toast can easily become two, and a generous dollop used as a base for frying can escalate into a significant fat load. When combined with other high-fat items like cheese, processed bacon, or creamy sauces, the accumulated fat burden can be overwhelming for a body that isn't built to handle such quantities daily, especially in the morning when the body is striving to awaken and stabilize its metabolic processes. The solution isn't to eliminate warm or savory breakfasts, but rather to lighten them intelligently. Eggs can be effortlessly poached, soft-boiled, or scrambled with a splash of healthy oil. Toast can be lightly brushed with a touch of extra virgin olive oil instead of butter, providing healthy monounsaturated fats. Potatoes can be roasted with aromatic herbs in the oven or air-fried with minimal oil, rather than being submerged in frying grease. These seemingly minor adjustments in preparation preserve the beloved flavors and comforting textures while dramatically reducing the inflammatory burden and digestive strain. The food you consume at sunrise doesn't merely set the tone for your day. It sends a profound message to your heart, your brain, and your gut. That message can either be, "I'm going to take care of you," providing optimal nourishment, or implicitly, "You're on your own, I'm going to burden you." For those of us who aspire to remain independent, strong, and mentally sharp well into our later years, choosing the lighter, more nurturing path in the morning may just be the single most impactful decision to ensure everything else works a little smoother, a little longer, and a little more joyfully. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment with the number 6 below to let me know you're here and engaged. Your continued support is what allows us to create content that genuinely aims to improve lives. If you haven't yet, we invite you to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of our informative updates. Thank you for your incredible support, and let's conclude with some final reflections. As we wrap up today's deep dive, I urge you to pause and reflect on what truly transpires each morning. Not just what's on your plate, but crucially, how that plate makes you feel afterward. Do you experience a sustained sense of clarity, alertness, and stable energy? Or do you find yourself battling bloating, inexplicable fatigue, or an irresistible urge to simply sit back down before your day has even properly begun? The truth is, breakfast can either be a profound, quiet gift to your body, setting the stage for vibrant living, or it can become an invisible burden, subtly draining your resources day after day. After the age of 60, your body isn't merely asking for food, it's asking for help. It seeks assistance in maintaining steady blood sugar levels, in diligently reducing chronic inflammation, in sustaining unwavering energy and focus, and in preserving mobility and independence. The 6 categories of foods we've meticulously covered today, sugary cereals and granolas, processed breakfast meats, refined white bread and pastries, deceptively sweetened yogurts, concentrated fruit juices, and butter-heavy or fried breakfast items, might be popular, incredibly convenient, or evoke cherished nostalgia. However, that deeply ingrained familiarity doesn't automatically mean they are still the right choices for the unique physiology of your body now. They all share a common detrimental characteristic. They tend to take more from your body than they give. They trigger disruptive sugar spikes, lead to energy crashes, create a heavy, sluggish feeling, and force your body to work far harder than it needs to, day in and day out. And when your body has faithfully carried you through 6, 7, or even 8 decades of life, it unequivocally deserves something far better, something truly nourishing and supportive. The journey towards better health doesn't demand radical overnight overhauls. It flourishes through small, consistent, and intentional steps. Begin subtly. Swap that glass of juice for a refreshing glass of water and a piece of whole fruit. Choose nutrient-dense eggs paired with vibrant greens instead of sodium-laden sausage. Opt for the fiber-rich goodness of whole grains over refined white bread. These changes, though seemingly modest, trigger a powerful compounding effect, day by day, meal by meal. Their purpose isn't to restrict your enjoyment of food, but to actively support your body. They are not about taking joy away, but about bringing it back through newfound clarity, profound comfort, and empowering control over your own well-being. Because aging gracefully isn't about what you inevitably lose, it's profoundly about what you consciously choose to keep and nurture: your energy, your mental sharpness, your independence, and your overall vitality. And the right breakfast doesn't merely feed your immediate hunger, it actively feeds and fortifies your future. Thank you for joining us today on this vital exploration. We are deeply committed to fostering a community of health-conscious individuals. We would absolutely love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one pivotal insight you gleaned from today's discussion and how you plan to integrate it into your own life. Your thoughts and experiences are incredibly important to us, and reading your comments provides us with immense motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please consider showing your support by hitting the like button, subscribing to our channel, and sharing this valuable content with others who might benefit. Your engagement empowers us to continue creating informative and inspiring content like this. Thanks for watching, and we eagerly look forward to seeing you in our next video, where we'll continue to explore pathways to a healthier, more vibrant life.